Okay, now I have shared my screen also. Last lecture we have started our unit number 6, protein technology. And already I mentioned that this introduction to protein technology, this is a part belongs to the surface engineering stream. Okay, so we'll go with the that some basic what is meant by surface and the surface engineering means what and how it is related to our uh, this chapter introduction to coating technology. Okay, basically here I want to ask that what is my coating? Coating means what? Okay, we'll start with this basic question. Okay, so in general, you can tell like you can say also like coating is not just a, coating is a covering. Okay, and that coating is the covering that is applied to any surface or of any object. Okay, surface हा कुठलाही असू शकतो. Okay, surface of any object. And now, whatever the we are going to provide a coating. Okay, or we are going to apply coating to a surface of that object. No? So that surface it is called sub. It is called substrate. Okay, it is called substrate. Okay, so as per the surface engineering, uh, it is called substrate. Okay, so simple coating means what? The covering that we have to apply to a surface or on a surface of any object, and usually it is referred as a substrate. Okay, now what is the purpose of coating generally? The purpose of coating maybe first decorative. Okay, decorative दिसण्यासाठी आपण नॉर्मली कोटिंग करतो बघा. ओके, तुम्ही बऱ्याच कंपनीच्या ड्रिंकच्या बॉटल बघितल्या असलेल्या किंवा बऱ्याच कंपनीच्या वेगवेगळे प्रोडक्ट असतील त्याच्यावरच तुम्ही कोटिंग बघा. ओके, प्रोडक्ट लेबल्स म्हणू शकतो आपण. ओके, सो दे हॅव द that approach toward the coating as a just decorative purpose. Okay, decoration painting कधी कधी काढतात बघा ते डेकोरेशन साठी. Now, if you take the example of that any drink bottle, now there they have the two types of the coating. One is the functional coating. Okay, functional coating means they are using the adhesive. Okay, functional coating, and the so that on that coating some matters they are writing. Okay, that is functional coating, and the other side of that coating, it is just like a decorative coating. Okay, so it may be printed or the other part, so that is a different aspect of the coating. Okay, now another, now coating you can provide with the help of the paints also. Okay, so paint technology, oil paint technology. Okay, that is another one same like this our coating technology. Okay, which is belongs to the surface engineering. Okay, technology. Okay, so you can provide coating. Okay, by the for the function like functional use or decorative or both. Okay, एक तर चांगलं दिसण्यासाठी किंवा एखादं त्याच्याकडे आपला काहीतरी हेतू असायला पाहिजे. ओके, ह्या पद्धतीने तुम्ही कोटिंग अप्लाय करू शकता. नाव functional coating is what? To avoid the our corrosion or to prevent the from the corrosion. So that is the simple. If you take the example of some larger industrial pipes, okay, so they are using the coating for what purpose? To prevent the from the corrosion. Okay, what is it? So just this coating. Now come to the our point. That is the what is the surface engineering? Surface engineering is what? So generally, I can say like this: the surface engineering is a sub-discipline of the material science. Okay, surface engineering is a sub-discipline of a material science and which deals with the surface of matter state, solid matter. Okay, which deals with the surface of solid matter. Now, solid means what? Solids are the composed of a bulk materials and which are covered by the surface. Okay. Solids are the composed of a bulk matter which are covered by the surface. Now, the surface which bonds the bulk material, no, it is called the surface phase. Okay, so all the terms, basic terms I am telling for the sake of the your to get the knowledge about the coating technology. Okay, so starting from the surface engineering. So I repeat, surface engineering is just a sub discipline or sub branch you can call, or you can say of a metal science, and which is deals with the surface of the solid matter. Okay, and again in that solids are the composed of a bulk materials, okay, which are covered by the surface. And the surface which bonds this bulk material, no, it is called the surface phase. Now, in conjunction with that, again the surface phase of a solid, it will interact with the surrounding environment, and this interaction can degrade the surface phase over the time. Okay. Now, if your surface phase is there, no, if of your solid, when it will interact with the surrounding environment, no, so due to that interaction, what will happen? Degradation of that surface phase will happen. Okay, over a time. Now, how degradation will happen? So you can take just an example of our corrosion. Okay, तर आपण साधं सिंपल एखाद्या अँगलला कलर लावला नाही, बॅक कलर लावला नाही, पेंट म्हणतो ऍक्च्युली त्या पेंट यू कॅन tell as a, you can say that paint is just a prevention from the corrosion as well as the decorative purpose you are painting your angle. Okay, शेडचं जर तुमचं अँगलचं बघितलं तसं, तर आता तुम्ही धरून चला की त्याला ब्लॅक कलरच लावणार तर काय होणार हो, ते पावसाळ्यात जर भिजलं तर गंजेल का नाही, साधं सिंपल आहे. सो देअर लाय और इफ दॅट surface may degrade, okay, due to the that corrosion. So this our surface engineering, it involves the altering the property of the surface phase. Okay. Surface engineering involves what? Altering the properties of the surface phase for what purpose? In order to reduce the degradation. Okay. To avoid the degradation or to reduce the degradation, we have to alter the properties of the our surface phase. Okay. So that is the main motto of the surface phase. Now, how you can alter the properties of the surface phase? That we are going to discuss in detail in the further part. Okay. Now, this surface engineering, as I mentioned, it is involving altering the properties of the surface phase for what purpose? In order to just reduce the degradation over the time. And this is accomplished by making the surface robust to the environment in which it will be used. Okay, it will be used. Uh, uh, Again, in detail, I can tell about this surface engineering is that we can refer this surface engineering to avoid a range of technology to this sorry surface engineering refers to a wide range of technology, okay, which is designed to modify the surface properties, okay, to modify or to alter you can call to modify the surface properties of metallic as well as the non-metallic component. Okay, now for what purpose we are going to modify the surface properties, okay, or we can call we are going to alter the surface properties of the metallic part component or the non-metallic component. Okay, for what purpose? For functional or a decorative purpose. Okay. Now, this including the sorry. This include the improve the corrosion as well as the wear resistance. Okay. If you provide the any uh, modification in the surface properties, no, then definitely your corrosion as well as the wear resistance it will improve. Okay, to extent. Okay, and component life uh, will also improve. Okay, so again due to that decorative, your that atom or component more visually attractive. Okay, it will more attractive and also use the special properties such as lubricity enhancement. Okay, due to the modification in the surface properties, definitely this lubricity enhancement would occur, then non-stick surface will be there. Okay, so this is the purpose of the surface engineering. Okay, now the standard definition of the surface engineering, which is given by the one author or we can call the researcher, that is Bailey, okay, which is called Bailey. So if Bailey he has given the definition of the surface engineering like that, the application of traditional and innovative surface technology. Okay? The application of traditional and the innovative surface technology to engineering components and the materials. Okay? Application of traditional and the innovative surface technologies to engineering components and the materials with properties unattainable in either base metal or the surface materials. So we have to apply the traditional and the innovative surface technology method. We have to go for the coating or altering the or modifying the surface properties of on which on a or to a surface engineering sorry just a engineering component and the material with unattainable properties, that is the modification. Okay, so in either your base metal or your surface metal. Okay, this is standard definition of the surface. Now, what is the uh, definition of the surface engineering? In short, if you ask, no, then I can say this surface engineering means what? To make the change to the surface of a metal. Okay, to make the changes to the surface of metal. This is just a definition. Now, this definition I got from the one of the ERPTL course related to the surface engineering technology. Okay, so this material I have taken from that strip. Okay, surface engineering is what to make changes to the surface of a material. Now, what will be the purpose of this surface engineering? In short, I can say to gain or improve upon the desired surface properties of the your material. Okay, to improve or to gain desired surface properties of material. Also, to improve the components performance or the service lifetime, or the, also as a decorative effort, it's a aesthetic and aesthetic view. Okay, and as well as the economics. So that is simple purpose of the your surface. Now, which are the different surface engineering processes? Okay, so this basic question may be arising in your mind. So there are many processes are there in this surface engineering process. For what purpose? For modifying the surface properties, we have processes, and that few of them we are going to learn in this chapter also. And these surface engineering processes this can be grouped into three categories. Okay. Now, which are that three categories? I will show you. Now you can see the three categories of the surface engineering processes. Now, first category is that surface modification without changing the material chemically. So without changing the chemical composition of the that surface material, we have to go for the surface modification. That is first group of the processes. Now, in that changes we can make by thermal or mechanical means. Okay, we can do changes made by the thermal as well as the mechanical means. Also, by altering the metallurgy. Metallurgy is not that metallurgy property or surface structuring. Okay. That changes we can made by thermal or mechanical means as well as altering the metallurgy or surface texture. So that this group one surface modification without changing the metal chemically. Okay, the second group of the surface engineering processes is the surface modification by altering the surface chemistry. By modification or by altering the surface chemistry, you can go for the surface modification. Now, in that part, there are processes which involve diffusion of a new element into the surface of the material. Okay. Now, this group, how the modification will be carried out. So, just involving the diffusion of a new elements into the surface of the material. And the original substrate material is there now. that as I was just mentioned in the my introduction part, that is in the about the coating, that substrate means what? The surface of the your object, okay, on which or onto which modification will be done. So that substrate, so that original substrate material that would constitute play an active part in this modification surface in the modified surface. Okay, so this is the second group, and the third group of the surface engineering processes is the surface modification by adding new material onto the surface coating. Okay, onto the surface, it is called the coating. Okay, पहिलं काय होतं बघा, surface modification करू शकता without changing the material chemically. So that changes can be made by thermal or mechanical means or altering the metallurgy or surface texture. And then second group is the surface modification by altering the surface chemistry. Okay, now in that these processes belongs to this group 2 now. It involves the diffusion of new elements into the surface of the material. Okay, and then now third one, it is related to our coating. That is the we can go for the surface modification by adding the new material. ओके, आता नवीन मटेरियल कुठे ऍड करायचं ऑन टू द युअर surface, and it is called the coating. These processes, okay, these surface engineering processes essentially add new material to your surface as a coating. ओके, ज्याच्यावर कोटिंग करायचंय त्या सरफेसच्या म्हणायचं सबस्ट्रॅट, आणि ज्यानं जो सरफेस नवीन पार्ट येणार आहे किंवा न्यू मटेरियल ऍड होणार आहे त्याला म्हणायचं कोटिंग. ओके, so here I just I mentioned new material is required, and that we have to add into the your surface onto your surface. Okay, and that will act as a coating. And now here do not in for this group of process, no, do not involve the substrate material constitute at a surface. Okay, substrate material constitute at a surface. This condition is not applicable for here. Okay, so these are the three main group of your surface engineering process. Okay, मी अजून आज आतापर्यंत सगळं सरफेस इंजिनिअरिंग बद्दल बोलतोय. Okay, yet we have not started our coating technology. Surface engineering बोलतोय now. Okay, now we have to concentrate on this third group, that means the surface modification by adding the new material, okay, onto the your surface. Now again this surface modification by adding new material, no, onto your surface we can do by following process. Now which are the different process or different methods or the different techniques which are belongs to this surface modification? So in that we have the first one is the welding type process. Okay, by welding also we can go for addition of the material onto the surface. So that group is different, it's called welding type process. Then thermal spray processes are there. Okay, so this part about the thermal spray we are going to talk in detail in the next lecture. Okay, because we have the separate one, thermal spray. Then electroplating, so from metallurgy also, or maybe the from manufacturing technology subject, you got the meaning of this also, electroplating, electroless plating. Okay, so that are also the one of the techniques for the surface modification. Okay, then we as we are familiar with this process, galvanizing. Okay, that means the again molten bath, okay, in aluminum. So that processes are also involved in this surface modification. Okay, now we should not go for this welding type process or the electroplating or galvanizing. Okay, so that is not part of our syllabus, okay, in detail, but as an introduction purpose we should know, because that galvanizing and that as one of the metallic plating, so all are the part of all are the all are the techniques for the surface coating. Okay, now out of these four, no, first four, thermal spring process that we are going to talk in detail. Then we have the another process like physical vapor deposition. It is in short, it is called PVD. Then we have the chemical vapor deposition, CVD. In detail, we are going to talk about this also, this PVD and CVD. Then painting, spin coating. Okay. Now, as in the beginning of this lecture, I've told that painting technology is another branch of the surface engineering. Okay, you can do the career in that painting technology also. Okay, again powder coating. Okay, now powder coating. Again, this is part of the your material science. Okay, because about the introduction to powder coating, you have the point in the metallurgy subject. Okay, that painting coating. Then and last is the cladding. Okay, so about in the metal and galvanizing also. Okay, because we have the one point that is a metallic coating. So in that we are going to see the what is by the cladding and the galvanizing. Okay, so these all are the process which are belong to the coating technology. Okay, now come to the our main point. What is the principle of coating technology? Okay. Now this, as I mentioned that this coating technology is a part of the your surface engineering as well as the nanostructuring, because you will see the group number two, okay, or one or two in that. So we are going to change our surface properties. And actually, this principle of the coating technology is mainly for the to improve the life of your product, okay, as well as the give the aesthetic use, okay, so that the life of the product and the aesthetic part can be improved by coating. Okay, now by preventing the your part from the corrosion, definitely life of the product will increase. Okay, as well as now to prevent from the corrosion, that is our functional coating. Okay, and decorative means what? For the aesthetic part, aesthetic view, we are providing any coating. Okay, so these are the two parts of the coating. This life of the product and the aesthetic part we can improve or we can enhance by coating. Okay, so this is one purpose or the principle of the coating. Then what are the metal finishing is there? So metal finishing, it alters the surface of the your metal product. Okay, metal finishing, it alters the surface of metal product. Okay, and normally industries uses this metal finishing. Okay, include the home appliances, automobile parts, telecommunications part, electronics part, then jewelry and the aerospace. In these all industries, normally metal finishing, this coating technology or metal finishing is used. Okay. Now, how we can go for the surface coating? So, if you want to change the structure, then we have the this grouping: single component, multi-component, gradient, and the multi-layer. Okay. So, to change this structure, we have this option. Now, and how we can go for the surface coating? Then we have the different coating process. Again, that coating processes are grouped subgrouped like this: chemical, electrochemical is there, then thermochemical, thermocoating is there, then chemical vapor deposition, physical vapor deposition, and mechanical. Okay, so these are the all processes. Okay, now out of that, I will talk about the mechanical plating. Now, this normally in this mechanical plating, no, fine metallic powder. Okay, fine metallic powder. Normally, it is cold welded. Okay, this fine metallic powders, no, are cold welded to a metal component without any elasticity and the heat. Okay. So using that welding or cold welding, we can we can do the coating of metal. Okay, while providing the coating, we have to use the fine metallic powder. Okay, so that is metallic coating. Then now come to the again surface coating. Now in general, I can say this surface coating processes, that are involved depositing a layer of a molten or semi-molten or chemical material onto the surface of the surface of object. It is called substrate. Okay. This surface coating processes, it involves depositing a layer of molten or semi-molten or chemical material onto the substrate. And one of the main function of this surface coating is to modify and reinforce the surface function instead of the reforming the composition of your bulk. Okay. One of the main function of the surface coating is to modify and reinforce the surface function. Okay. Then now as just I have mentioned in earlier standard some of the examples of the as per our syllabus. Now the examples of the surface coating process is the this physical vapor deposition PVD, the chemical vapor deposition CVD. Then we have the this thermal spray, okay, and this metallic coating. In that metallic coating, we are going to see the electroplating and the cladding. And normally, the wide range of processes are used for our products to deposit metal or the ceramic, or we can call metal as well as non-metal. So to deposit the metal, ceramic, and the organic, we have the different surface coating processes. Now, organic means what? In that your paint or plastics and the rubber coating. Okay, so paint technology or oil paint technology. So that is also another stream of the surface image. Okay, now as per our syllabus, we have different advanced methods of a for a or of a depositing coating. Okay, now in that we have the as per syllabus CVD is there and PVD is there. Okay, in detail we are going to talk about this. As well as we have the thermal spraying is there, and then solgel technique is there. So these are the four advanced methods of your depositing the coating or surface coating techniques you can. Okay, thermal spraying, solgel technique, and chemical vapor deposition technique, physical vapor deposition. And as per our syllabus, we have the thermal spraying, then CVD, PVD, and the metallic coating. Okay, and plasma spraying or the flame spraying is part of this thermal spraying. Okay, now just for the introductory purpose, we'll talk about the first one, that is thermal and the plasma spraying. Okay, now we can see now this normal this thermal spraying techniques, no, are the coating processes and in which melted or we can call the heated material, no, are are sprayed onto a surface. Okay, just we have to spray melted or the heated material onto a surface. Okay, you can see here also. This is our substrate. Substrate म्हणजे काय, ज्याच्यावर आपल्याला कोटिंग करायचं. So here within of here spraying, we can spray this heated or the molten sorry melted material, okay, on this substrate. That is called the plasma spraying or the thermal spraying. Okay. Now when we how to call the plasma, and that we are going to see in the next slide, next lecture. Okay. Now here the what of the feed stock is there, no, feed stock. It is called the coating precursor. Okay, जसं आपण इंजेक्शन म्हणतो ना, ओके, ज्याच्यात नॉर्मली आपलं इंजेक्शन लिक्विड असतं आणि त्यानंतर आपण ते देतो. Like that feed stock is there, it's called a coating precursor. And so that feed stock is normally heated by electrical or no, by electrical means what, again in that is a plasma or the arc or chemical process, they like combustion. Okay, then thermal spraying can provide thick coating approximately 20 micrometer uh, thickness you can achieve using the thermal spray. Okay, over a large area. at a high deposition rate also. Okay, on very over a large area, we can go for the spray, and we can achieve the thickness of the 20 micron also at a high deposition rate as compared to other coating process such as electroplating. Now, here, what are the electroplating is there? No, that is our traditional process, and the other that physical and vapor deposition process are the advanced coating technology. Okay? So, just for the introductory purpose, I am giving this information. In detail, we are going to see in the next lecture. Then this, which coating materials we can use. So we can use alloy or ceramic or the plastic or composite material as a coating material. Now, how we can do this coating? What is the process? So normally this coating material is there. No, they are fed in a powder. Okay, in the form of powder or a wire form, and then that were to that powder of material or a wire form of material that were to heat to a molten state or the semi-molten state, and then that were to accelerate towards this our substrate, okay, in the form of micrometer size particle. Okay, just you can see here बघा ह्या प्रोक्युजर पासून आपण काय केलं स्प्रेइंग चालू केले ओके like this plasma jet you can see and small micro size particles of the that coating material we have to spray over this substrate. Okay, now here disadvantage of this plasma spray process are the relatively for this process relatively high cost is required, and this process is somewhat complex. Okay, so you can see the diagram plasma spray process. काय करायचं पहिल्यांदा पावडर घ्यायचं ओके ज्या जी कोटिंग मटेरियल त्याचे पावडर घ्या किंवा वायर फॉर्म घ्या and then you have to heat okay, with the help of the electrical energy. So that electrical energy, if you are using the arc form, arc or plasma, okay, so depend on the plasma spray it is calling thermal spray. Hmm. Then you have to spray on your surface. Okay, so this is just an introduction about the this plasma spray. Then let us talk about the physical vapor deposition. From next lecture, we are going to talk in detail about this, but just introductory, I will tell. Now, this again, this physical vapor deposition, in short, PVD, this is a type of a vacuum deposition process. Okay? It's a type of a vacuum deposition process where metal is vaporized, okay? Where metal is vaporized in a vacuum chamber and then transported atom by atom across the chamber to a substance. Okay? To a substance and then condensed on a film at a substrate surface. Okay, see here. Here your base material is there. Base means म्हणजे काय? जो मटेरियल किंवा जो मटेरियल आपल्याला कोट करायचा पुढच्या ह्याच्यावर सबस्ट्रॅटवर दॅट इज कॉल्ड बेस मटेरियल. So firstly we have to vaporize this base material in a vacuum chamber. So here vaporizer is there and here total vacuum is there. So after vaporization we can transport that vaporized material atom by atom, okay, across the chamber, okay, and then you can deposit on this substrate surface substrate. You can see how the coating is carried out. You can see the arrows I have given and all these base material is there and the substrate. Okay, so this is called the physical vapor deposition. Okay, this is the type of vacuum deposition process where material is vaporized in a vacuum chamber and then transported atom by atom across the chamber to a substrate and then condensed on a into a film, okay, at a this substrate surface. Okay, you can see the how the layer is formed or how the coating is formed on the substrate material. Okay. Now this is a hybrid again in this physical vapor deposition we have the many types, and out of that we have the one hybrid physical chemical vapor deposition. Okay, that is a combination of the CVD and PVD. Hybrid physical chemical vapor deposition, HPCVD. So that is thin film deposition technique, and that combines your fluid and CVD, physical vapor deposition with chemical vapor deposition. Okay, in detail we are going to talk about this also. Okay, and normally or generally it is used for what purpose? To improve the hardness or to improve the wear resistance and the oxidation resistance. Okay, which is used in the many industries like aerospace industry, automotive industry, surgical industries, then dyes and the molds. Okay, for all manner of the material cutting tools also, then firearms, optics, and the watches. So all these purposes we can use this physical vapor deposition. Okay, you can draw this diagram also. This diagram, physical vapor deposition. Otherwise, in the next lecture, we are going to, no need to write here. Now, here you can see when your metal is heated no, in the vacuum, then the what are the metal no is there no that becomes a gas vaporizer that is called sublimation, and it forms a metal film, okay, on the atom to be plated. The atom to be, so here you can get the, you can see here your base metal is there and it is heated in the vacuum. Then when it is deposited on this plate, no, this is substrate. This entire process it is carried out in the. But what are some examples here? So examples I have written here: semiconductor devices such as thin film solar panels, then aluminized PET films for food packaging industries, and the balloons and the coated cutting tools for metal working. So besides these PVD tools, for fabrication, for for fabrications. Okay, so again for the special smaller tools, we can use the physical vapor deposition technique. You can see here. Okay, once again I repeat, this entire process of the coating we have to carry it out in a vacuum. So you can see here border is there. So this is a chamber we can call vacuum state. And here we have the base metal, red color. Okay, base metal or metal, which we have to deposit on the substrate. Okay, so that substrate I have written as a atom to be plated here, and here heat is provided. So after heating, what will happen? That metal is there in this vacuum, no? So that will become as a vaporized or in the form of gas. Okay, so that sublimation will happen, and then on your this you can see here also what are the substrate material is there, no? So on that surface of the substrate, here one film type coating will be formed. Okay, you can see arrow also how the deposition will be. Okay, and as I was talking about this one, this base material means what? The material which we want to deposited on this substrate material. Okay, and this total process we have to carry it out in the vacuum, because this physical vapor deposition is one of the type of the vacuum deposition process, and the vacuum deposition process is the one of the technique of the coating technology. Okay, in the surface imaging we have the coating, and again in that coating we have the this vacuum deposition process. Okay, and from that vacuum deposition process we have the CVD and PVD, and as I'm talking about the PVD. So here first we have to heat the this base metal in a vacuum. Then after vaporized that material, we have to deposit on a substrate material or surface of the substrate. Okay, so here you will get the film. Okay, so simple diagram here I have shown. Okay, red means on the metal molecules you can say, and where we can use this PVD. Okay, so just I have mentioned here for the aerospace industry, automotive industries, then surgical, dyes and the mold for all manners of metal cutting tools. For that purpose also we can use this coating this technique, PVD technique. Okay, then firearms, optics, and the watching. Okay. So just introductory purpose I'm saying, telling. Okay. In the next lecture, we are going to see again in that this again in this physical vapor deposition, we have the subtypes. Okay. In detail, we are going to talk about that one. Now, normally, commonly, industrial coatings are applied by the this physical vapor deposition technique. And our titanium nitrate we can apply, then zirconium nitrate we can apply using this process, then chromium nitrate is there, titanium, aluminum nitrate is there. So these are the common industrial coatings that are applied by the chemical vapor deposition. Okay. So please note down this also. Okay. Now let us go for the next one. Okay, that is a chemical vapor deposition. Again, this is a vapor deposition process of the your coating technology. Okay. Now here chemical process is used. Okay, as you can see, name chemical vapor deposition. So as name is given, chemical vapor deposition. So this is a chemical process. Here chemical process is used to produce a high quality, high performance, and high performance of the solid material. Okay, high quality to produce a high quality, high performance solid material. We have to use this chemical process, and the process is often used in the semiconductor industry. Okay, for what purpose? To produce a thin film. To produce a thin film. Now, typically, in this CVD, the substrate or the wafer, you can call wafer, is exposed to one or more voltage producers. Okay, one or more producers which reacts or the decompose on the your substrate surface to produce the desired deposit frequently, and volatile byproducts also produced during this process, and which are removed by the gas flow through the reaction chamber. To the reaction. Now you can see here tray is used or vapor. Okay, तर ज्या जागेवर आपल्याला सरफेस कोटिंग करायचंय ते पहिल्यांदा इथं ठेवायचं. ओके, then we have to expose this vapor or the substrate to a one or more volatile producer. Okay, and which will react or decompose on the substrate surface. Okay, that volatile material or volatile producer. Okay, and so that it will produce desired deposition on this work substrate. Okay, and whatever the additional byproduct, volatile byproduct will produce, no, that we can remove by gas flow through the reaction chamber. So for to get that gas, we have to gas inlet. Okay, now normally this CVD is used in the various form, including monocrystalline form, then polycrystalline, amorphous, epitaxial. Okay, so this is again just a short introduction about the chemical vapor deposition. Okay, in detail also we are going to talk. Now, how to select the that appropriate surface treatment method or surface coating method. So, what are the criteria while selecting that surface treatment method? So, here again, one of the author from the IIT. Hello. Actually, yeah, network problem na ekdamच exit झालं. Now I joined from my mobile. Okay, so I was talking about the selection of the surface treatment method. Okay, which process we have to select? What are the we can call as a characteristics while selecting surface treatment method. So we can select surface treatment method based on upon the change in function properties, then substrate characteristics, and thickness of the modified surface, then uh, depend on the speed of the process. Okay, it may be a slow or a fast. Then the most important requirement of vacuum. Okay, so requirement of the vacuum based on that also we can select the surface treatment process. Okay, and then geometry of the component. Okay, geometry of the your substrate component. So depend on that also we have to select the proper surface treatment method. And the last one is the in general that is a depend on the economics. We have to select the surface treatment method. Okay, so this is just a today in this lecture we have to, just cover the brief introduction about the this coating technology. From next lecture onwards, we will discuss the one by one all the methods. So starting with the physical paper deposition, we will discuss the next lecture. Okay. So quickly, I will write your roll number. 1 minute. One minute. P1, 30, 43, 41, 44, 49, 71, 77, 78. Okay. So 20 students are present. Okay, no problem. Thank you for joining today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Now we can leave this meeting.